We have more breaking news here. This one comes out of Cincinnati this morning. The Bengals announcing that the team is bringing back head coach Zac Taylor and director of player personnel Duke Tobin. You hear Stephen A's reaction here. Did the Bengals make the right call?
Hell no. That man needs to go. He can't coach without Joe Burrow at all. I mean, there are other components, special teams, defense, and you know what? You can look a bit presentable when you got Jamar Chase, T. Higgins in the crew, and still somehow, some way, they manage to lose games. It's just too much of a passing game. I remember on many occasions, I will regurgitate the same comment. I have called for an investigation into what this man is doing in the offseason, because come September, they are almost never ready to play. It's been a continuous situation with Zac Taylor. It wasn't the case this year, obviously, but for the most part, that has been the situation. Then Joe Burrow goes down and they forget how to win. I'm just saying, I'm just tired of it. You got Joe Burrow, you got Jamar Chase, you got these cats. You got to find a way to play better football rather than just put everything on Joe Burrow's shoulders. That's on the head coach. I think they should have made a change.
Peter Schrager is with us here now. Go ahead, Schrager. You can react to this as well.
Yeah, look, this news comes out this morning. I think in a silo, you look at the last 2 years, it's not acceptable for what the Bengals have been. You would imagine they would be able to have a better body of work. But that building right there, you better believe Joe Burrow had input in this. You better believe that was one where Joe Burrow, if he didn't want Zac Taylor, would have voiced his opinion at some point. I could argue Joe Burrow and Josh Allen might be the two most important and have the most influence within their organizations across the entire league right now. And if they want to change, they can get a change. In this case, it seems like Joe Burrow is happy with Zac Taylor and actually went to bat for Zac Taylor.
Zac Taylor's a good coach. The Bengals aren't where they are because of Zac Taylor. The Bengals are where they are because they don't have enough talent on the football team. Zac Taylor, they score points. I'd like to see them protect Joe better, no question about it, schematically. But the Bengals, I don't care who the head coach is, they have to get an influx in talent to actually be competitive and not just ride the coattails of the quarterback and wide receiver performance.
Do you not like people? Like you always go with the flow.
He's positive. He's optimistic.
I'm not.
Glad
well, I'm going to tell you like this. Well, Zach, what did you do? Because Raheem should have got that same grace. Oh, another coach should have got that same grace too. When you got talent like Jamar Chase, when you got talent like a Joe Burrow, when you got talent like a T. Higgins, those guys don't really need exceptional coaching.
Wait, so good coaches need good players?
It's about the Jimmys and Joes, not the X's and O's now. Come on now, when you got great players like that, bro, it's not hard. Trust me, if I could go do that, Mr. Brown, I could be a coach.
Oh, boy.
Zac Taylor, the Cincinnati Bengals need a change if the Cincinnati Bengals want to change. Sticking with Zac Taylor, even if it's who Joe Burrow wants to be head coach, I don't believe it's the right decision if you want a different result. We do have to remember that this team under Zac Taylor went to 2 consecutive AFC championships in the Super Bowl. It's changed since then. They have not gotten better. The defense was something that you felt was a problem, so you get rid of Luan Arumo, you bring in Al Golden, and it's still an issue. Preparing for the season has been an issue for this team with late starts or with slow starts. And so for me, if Mike Brown and that family wanted to move forward and maybe see an ascension, you had to make a change. But we know that the Cincinnati Bengals are extremely slow to make changes at the head coaching position.
The other thing that I think is worth mentioning, do we really want to rely on the happiness of Joe Burrow right now? He's not in the same space. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, he was given the impression he didn't know how he was feeling. Okay? And a lot of it had to do with the state of affairs because of the lack of protection he was receiving. This is your most valuable asset. Don't you think it's alarming that you can sit here and say, because you know what? One of the things they got to change, they got to find a way to protect Joe Burrow. Who's been out pretty much 3 seasons in the season.
Here was the move to me, and this is just my opinion. If I were the Cincinnati Bengals decision makers, I would have gotten rid of Zac Taylor and brought in Joe Brady from the Buffalo Bills, the offense coordinator. He was the offensive coordinator in 2019.
Now, it would have been an LSU reunion.
He was the offensive coordinator in 2019 with Joe Burrow, but we've also watched him protect Josh Allen, get a run game in Buffalo. That's what you need to do in order to protect Joe Burrow. I felt like he would understand that, and there's a great relationship between the two.
I think RC is also right in that there are 32 organizations. The Falcons, we now have Arthur Blank, and you have a new president, Matt Ryan. You have a consultancy firm. The Bengals, It's mom and pop,
Family,
and we're
yeah.
going to do this,
Family
and this
run.
is how we operate.
The issues have also been the draft. Their draft picks haven't panned out. They
That's
haven't
the main
developed
issue.
talent.
They don't have an official GM.
They've got issues
they
elsewhere
cheat.
besides just the receiving core and the quarterback. Coming up here on Thursday.
The Raiders lock up the #1 pick. Is drafting Fernando Mendoza a no-brainer in Vegas?
No. He's obviously going to be in the conversation, but I'm going to put Dante Moore from Oregon in there as well if he comes out. I'd also say this. The Raiders are really, really, really bad. This is the worst roster in the NFL. Drafting a quarterback 1 makes sense, but it's not going to solve your issues. There's probably one player on that roster right now, young-wise, that you could build around. That's Ashton Genty. We'll see what they do with Max Crosby. Mendoza's on a great run, and he's a very impressive player, but I'm not locking him into #1 right now.
Let me talk about another quarterback in the QB quick reads. Should we be concerned about Bo Nix as the Broncos go into the playoffs with the 1 seed?
Slightly. You know, there's been an up and down element to his play and a frantic element to his play all year long. There's been stretches where he's been great, but I know this, clutch moments, when he's got to play his best football, he plays like a top 5 quarterback. I don't know if there's as clutch a quarterback with him and Caleb Williams and his legs. The ability to just go make plays in those big moments with his athleticism are a huge part of the playoffs.
Rex, I don't know what to make of this statistic. The Denver Broncos of this season won 12 games coming from behind, which is the most of any team in NFL history. That speaks well on one level, but it also says you're kind of playing with fire a lot, and you can't really afford to do that in a playoff game.
Yeah, no, and every year we get a team like this, all right? They lack the knockout punch. They've been winning these type games, and we see early exits from damn near every one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas City messed me over last year because they were that team, but they actually found a way to make it there because they had the greatest quarterback ever, all right, Patrick Mahomes. But believe me, we've seen early exits from Minnesota, teams like that before. I'm telling you, don't be surprised if it doesn't happen in Denver.
They only had the 5th best point differential in the AFC. They're the 1 seed, but they only had the 5th best. Buffalo, New England, Jacksonville, and Houston all had better point differentials than they did. Does Denver feel like the favorite to you as sitting there at the #1 seed in the AFC?
No, they don't. Like, again, Bo Nix, I don't know what I'm getting offensively from the Denver Broncos. They don't run the ball as well, obviously, with the running back.
Omari and Hampton.
No, for Denver.
J.K.
Oh,
Dobbins.
J.K. Dobbins.
Sorry, yeah.
When J.K. Dobbins went down, it changed the complexity of their running back situation. So, listen, we know about their defense, but that offense worries me. It worries me a lot.
Here's the thing. The AFC feels like any one of those teams could come out of there.
Yeah.
Right.
But the advantage Denver has is it has 1 fewer game, and it gets to play those games at home. So it does give the Broncos a certain advantage. That's what home field and the #1 seed is. But you could see Jacksonville, you could see Buffalo, you could see Houston, you could see any team in that New England, any team in that conference. It wouldn't surprise you if any one of them made it to
14 wins is
Super Bowl.
amazing.
Yes.
It's an
Yeah.
amazing season.
Great year.
But when you talk about point differential, only 5th in the AFC,
Right.
Like, that's an amazing stat.
Well, it's
That's
been a
what
long-
I see. My eyes tell me.
As Shefty ran through that list of teams, it's been a long time since we've heard anyone say you could see Jacksonville, but now you could. The Jags draw the Bills in the first round of the playoffs. Dan, let's talk about Trevor Lawrence and just how well he's playing right now.
Trevor Lawrence right now when he walks on the field thinks he's the best player on the field. And that's what Liam Cohen, who I think is very much so deserving of Coach of the Year, has got him thinking. The aggression that he plays with the football, and then the talent shining is huge. 3-by-1, so Brian Thomas Jr. at the bottom of your screen. He's got a deep out route. #1, Trevor catches the ball, sees that safety go to the middle of the field. You want to work Brian Thomas Jr. That's the one-on-one. But he also sees that corner have outside leverage. If you're going to work there, you better have trust that the guy's going to get open. You got to get open, and then you better throw that ball to the sideline and do not leave it inside. Cannot do it better than that. Down in the red zone, Parker Washington has become this emergence as that #2 receiver. 2 safeties, work the middle of the field. You got to have the timing and the trust. Peek the safety to the top of the screen, move them. Ball come out right now. We call this a corner post, a little nod post. Has to come out on time, and you got to throw it to the face mask or higher. It cannot be in danger underneath a belt buckle or lower throw. The ball is absolutely perfect. Watch Trevor Lawrence this year